Today I'll be showing you the pins and some other merchandise that I got on my Disneyland trip in July of 2025. So I did get a lot of pins on this trip and I have them all sitting on the table over here. And they are about 25 to 30 pins that I'll be showing you soon. And then after the pins, we'll do a little trip report. And I will say that after my trip last August, I added a small item to my Disneyland bucket list that I never thought I would actually check off the list. But sure enough, in this July trip, I was able to check that off my list. So it's a really small thing, but it was cool to check it off the list. And then I'll talk about what days I went, where I stayed, what rides were closed, and then give you my thoughts on Tiana's Bayou adventure, because it was my first time riding that attraction. So we'll get to that after the pins, but right now, let's get to the pins and the other merchandise. A good place to start is with this 25th anniversary pin. So we have Mickey Mouse, and he has his pin lanyard on. You can see the pins there. I love that. And then it says, Authentic Official Pins, 25th Anniversary. Had to pick this one up. And then the back, all of these pins will have the little diamond Mickey there. And since I went to the parks in 2025, I had to pick out one of the dated pins. And then I chose this one. I always like ones with the castle and then, something in the background. Sometimes I do ones that have DCA stuff and then the castle, but this one just has the castle. So I chose this one. It says 2025 and lots of glitter in those numbers. And we have Mickey coming out of the 0 there with the castle in the background and some fireworks. Then the back is pretty plain. When I saw this 70th anniversary pin, I couldn't pass this one up. This one is awesome. So this one here, a little bit tougher to get off here because it has 2 pin posts, which is always good. So we have the Sleeping Beauty Castle, and it says Disneyland, and it says D70 here at the bottom. Then the background is just filled with glitter. Super nice pen. Love this one. And this one is gold tone finish, and has the 70th anniversary logo on the back. Then I have a bunch of attraction pins that I bought, and I had to get some Pirates of the Caribbean pins that I don't have in my collection. At least I don't think I have it in my collection. Maybe I do. So this one says Disney Pirates of the Caribbean on the flag, and we have a skeleton pirate up on the crow's nest. Really like the style of this one. And this one, oh, so this one has no diamond Mickey. So this one, if we can read that, it says 2022. Oh, so this is older. Maybe I do have this one. So this is an older pen, but I don't think I have it. So I picked that one up. And then I got this one. It's another, all of these are open edition ones that I'm showing you right now. So it says Friends, Swine, and Good Times. And we have the pirate with the little pig up against the brick wall. Looks like we have some glitter in the frame around it. And this one has the little diamond Mickey, and it says 2025 right there. I know that's hard to see. 25. So this one I definitely don't have in my collection yet. And then the last of the Pirates of the Caribbean ones I picked up was this one. So we have the skeleton pirate at the ship's wheel. And it looks like we're in some rough waters. It's kind of a mirrored finish there in the background. Another cool design. And this one is also a 2025. See right there. So those are the 3 Pirates pins that I added to my collection. And then I had to get this Haunted Mansion one. Now these came out, I think these are new pins for this year, and there were 4 of them. And I'm missing this one. I think they had it at Shop Disney, but I couldn't get this one. This one sold out. I got the other ones from the Disney store, but this one sold out. This one says Madame Leota, fortunes, crystals, potions, and seances. And it looks like this would glow in the dark, but I just checked and it does not. And this one should be 2025. And I got this Indiana Jones Adventure one. So it says Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye, and we have Mickey and Donald on the attraction vehicle. Donald looks like he's not loving this, but Mickey's having a good time. Looks like the snakes are about to attack them. And this one, again, I can't read that, but you might be able to see it. It's going to be 24 or 25 there. It does have the diamond Mickey head. Then I picked up this Pixar Pier one. This one says Pixar Pier on the bottom, and we have The Incredibles. And we have Jack Jack up here. Violet has him in a little floating bubble. This was a fun design. And this one, I believe, is 2024. There were some new Cars Land pins that came out this year, so I saw this one and had to get this one. So we have Sally and Lightning in front of the Cozy Cone Motel. No vacancies. And then it says, what, refrigerated air? That's pretty cool. And then we do have a little Cars Land symbol down here at the bottom, and you have the Cars Land Radiator Springs, the peak back there, and then this is like a sandblasted element in the background. Really nice pen. And this one is 2025. And the other new Cars pin I got was the one with Mater, and it says Need a Lift. We have Mater down here at the bottom, and then we have the Cars Land logo right there on the bottom left. And this one will also be 2025. So now I have a few character pins. So I saw this one, could not pass this one up because I love collecting the Pixar ball pins. And this one has Luxo Jr. and the Pixar ball, and they are 2 pins. So we have Luxo Jr. Really cool design there. Looks like the light is on and shining. See the back of that one. I can't read that, but there's no Diamond Head Mickey, so this could be a little older, maybe 2022. And then the Pixar ball. It's one of those PVC texture ones, so it bumps up. You can see how much it bumps up. That's the back of that one. Yeah, I thought these would look really cool for like a Pixar themed board. Then I came across this Coco one and figured I would get this. I do have a few Coco pens. I don't have a ton of them, but I really like this one. So we got the main characters here in front of a kind of a speckled background, but it's glittery and changes colors back there. Thought this one was really nice. Has a big hat up here. And this one, I believe, yeah, this was a new one. And with the Coco ride coming to Disney's California Adventure, I'm sure we're going to get lots more Coco merchandise and pins and things. So then I picked up this R2-D2 one. He is one of my favorite characters, possibly my favorite character in Star Wars. And I thought this one was really nice because I love, there's glitter inside. Well, I mean, there's glitter everywhere. You can see as I move it. It's filled with glitter. There you see a lot of it up there. But yeah, all the blue has glitter and all the white has glitter too. Thought this one was really cool. And this was also a newer one. So 2025. So I love Wreck-It Ralph, and I don't have a ton of pins. So when I saw this one, ooh, and I add this to the few Wreck-It Ralph pins I do have. And this one has Ralph and Vanellope when he's looking at her car that she made. This is all the frosting and stuff all over it. That's great. And this one, I believe, yeah, 2024. So this was one from last year. Then I saw this one and thought this one looked pretty nice. It's a pin-on-pin. And at the time, I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I did see the movie since then, and I thought it was good. I liked it. So it says Marvel Fantastic Four First Steps. And then we have the Fantastic Four with the 4 logo right there. And then the bottom characters are all bumped up. And then this one, of course, is 2025, because that's when the movie came out. So every year they have open edition villains pins, and this year I saw these two, and these are pretty cool. So it has 3 villains on 1 pin. So we have Maleficent, Evil Queen, and Lady Tremaine, and they're on this pretty nice purple frame, and it has a sandblast element to it. You can kind of see the frame there. So I got this one, and then I also got the one with Ursula, Hades, and Jafar, and same frame. And I like how they're looking to the right, and then these 3 villains are looking to the left. So you put them on a pin board next to each other. That will look pretty cool. They may have had some other ones too. I just got these 2. And one thing you may notice with these 2 pins is I picked some bad pins. If you look, Maleficent has a big cut right there, big scratch. See it. So I don't think that happened after I bought it, but it's possible. But yeah, it's got a big scratch there. And then this one has, Jafar has like a dent right there, and Hades right there too. So actually looks like Hades might have 2 spots. So yeah, so not great picks by me. And I was in the parks. I picked these up off of the shelves and looked at them and said, oh, I'm going to get these. And I didn't look close enough to see the defects on these. So these are the ones I ended up with. So I have to do a better job at looking at the pins when I'm there in the parks. And then I got this one of Yzma. I love Emperor's New Groove, and Yzma is great. I thought this was a really, really cool design. It reminds me of one of the bigger expensive Artland pins, where it's got a sandblasted background and the pattern that's back there. But we have Yzma, just really, really fun Disney villain. And this one's from 2024. So this was from last year. And that was it for my villains. Well, kind of. This is villains still too. But then I have some Emperor's New Groove pins here that I bought. So this one has Yzma and Kronk when they go to their laboratory. The whole pull the lever, wrong lever, that whole scene. So that's great. She's got her potion right there. I like the border of this one. Very sharp edges. And this one is 2025. So this is a new one for this year. And then the other Emperor's New Groove ones I got was this one of Cusco. Cusco as a llama, and he has the potion. Not sure which potion, but he has a potion. And this one has 2 pin posts. So you have a pin post up at his head and down here at one of his legs. And this one was from 2024. So then I have this one of Kronk, and he is in the kitchen. He's got his apron on with some oven mitts. And I think he's making, is that spinach puffs? I remember there's some scene, I think it's spinach puffs. But yeah, that one is really nice. I love the sandblasted effect on the brick back there. And this one is a 2024. The last Emperor's New Groove ones I got are these Kronk, Devil, and Angel. These were great. You can't pass these up. They also sell these as little shoulder angels too. You can, you have the magnet and you put them on your shoulder, on your shirt. So we have the Devil Kronk, and then we have the Angel Kronk. These 2 guys are great in the movie. Not a lot of room to fit all this stuff on the back, but they managed to do it. you still have the little Diamond Mickey head there too. So this vault collection came out a little while ago and I didn't buy it, but I was in the parks and I saw it there and I figured, hey, might as well pick it up. So it is a 5-pin set and the main pin is Space Mountain. And we have a frame here, a gold frame that says Disneyland, and on the bottom it says D70, and that is the pin-on-pin part, the bottom part, and then the whole top frame. And then inside we have Space Mountain with a really nice a pink, reddish pink glittered background with some stripes over here and some little diamonds. I think this one's really nice looking. And it is for the 70th anniversary. And then it comes with some characters too. So we have Dopey and Goofy. And then the background is a very similar style background. Looks like it's purple and silver with glitter. And we have Goofy and Dopey dressed in green outfits. And then the other two are Donald and Snow White. So same background, but they're dressed in, well, Snow White's dressed like she's always dressed, but Donald is in a blue outfit. I thought this was pretty cool, and this is series 1 of 4, so I'm not sure what series 2 is going to look like, but I'll pick it up when it comes out. So one of the things I saw on YouTube was somebody bought this ticket book mint container, and I knew I had to get this. So this looks like the classic ticket book. So you have your A, B, C, D, and E tickets. And these are character-shaped peppermints. And this one slides. You can slide it, and then you can see the mints. And then they're shaped like different characters. I think that one's Mickey. It's kind of hard to tell, but I see some mouse ears up there. And I did get these last year, and they were in this tin. This is like a play in the park tin. And this one opens like your normal mint tins, and it's the same thing, peppermint. You got your characters, and they taste like peppermint Altoids. They're pretty strong, but they're good. So I got those, and then when I was in Pixar Pier, I saw the grape soda ones, and I just loved this tin. So I'm like, ooh, I have to get that. And then this one is sour grape mints. So kind of interesting, but this one's hard to open. You get it open and you can see the mints, and when you put them in your mouth, they kind of taste like a sour grape candy, but then they start tasting kind of weird because it does say it's a mint. So overall, I don't really care for these at all, but I'll still eat them all. So it's like, ooh, these are gross. I'll eat them all. So I got those 2 mint tins. So in Frontierland, right across the street from the pin store, they have this area that's celebrating the 70th where you can tap your magic band on a circle and then it prints out one of these cards. So these are pretty neat. This is a Mark Twain Riverboat ticket. Has a 70 down at the bottom. And it's just like a ticket for the boat. And then we have the same thing for the Disneyland Railroad. So our special 70th anniversary guest. And then they also had the Golden Horseshoe Review, and this one has the rules, the house rules. So they may have had a 4th one too, but I think that one wasn't working. But they do have lots of areas around the park where you hold your magic band and tap it onto a little sensor and then it does something. Sometimes you get little printouts like this, and other times it just has something on the wall that moves and makes a noise. The magic band I bought last year in my 2024 trip was this one. Thought this one was pretty nice. Disneyland Resort has the Disneyland D, and then this side has the castle with some fireworks. So I got this one in 2024, and I saw a lot of newer styles on this trip, but I figured I didn't need to collect magic bands. I mean, this one works just fine. So I just kept this one. And then I had to get the Pixar ball. This was the one I was worried about because I bought this And on the way down, our suitcases were very, very packed. But I bought this and I'm like, oh man, that doesn't collapse or anything. So this is going to take up some space, but I couldn't pass this up when I saw it. So it's like, it's a ball, it's a Pixar ball. I've got to put this in my background somewhere. So I will do that. This Pixar ball will be in the background somewhere. And every year I'm in the parks, I always make sure I have a calendar for that year. So I did pick up the Happiest Place on Earth 2026 wall calendar. And this is a 16-month calendar, so you can actually start it in September. So here is the, looks like that, September 2025. And then they just have big pictures of attractions or places in the park. I like that picture, that's really nice. So yeah, so I always get one of these. And you can see the other pictures for the rest of the year, unless if you don't want to see spoilers. Yeah, so lots of attractions and lots of different places in the parks. And then I did get a t-shirt. I got a Lightning McQueen t-shirt that I wore in my Cars Pins unboxing video a couple weeks ago. And then I also got the sweatshirt that I'm wearing in this video. So those are the two clothing items that I got. So those were the pins and merchandise that I got on my Disneyland trip. So this trip was structured very similar to the last Disneyland trip. My family and I were there from July 24th, so Thursday, through Monday, July 28th. So we had 5-day park hopper passes, and it ended up being, 3 full days and 2 almost full days because we got there really early on Thursday. We were in the park by 11. So our flight was super early. So that was almost a full day. And then we didn't leave Monday night until about 8:30, 8:45. So that was pretty much a full day too. So it was like 5 full days, which was great. We flew into John Wayne Airport again. That's the airport that we use because it's just the closest to Disneyland. So it makes it the quickest to get your ride share and just get to your hotel. So that's what we always use. And then we stayed at the Fairfield Hotel again. So this is our second time in a row staying at the Fairfield. And I think it's great. I love how close it is. I did a video showing the walk from the Fairfield to the Disneyland Park entrance, and it's about 7 to 8 minutes. So it's really nice, and it allows you to do that midday break super quick. And that midday break is a game changer because I love being at the parks at rope drop, but I also love being at the parks at park close. And the older I get, it gets harder to get to both extremes of the day. So I have that midday break, get to kick off my shoes and get a little sleep in and get ready for the second part of my day. So if you remember last year's trip report video, there were a lot of rides closed for refurbishment when we were there. So we weren't able to go on Space Mountain, the Disneyland Railroad, or Tiana's Bayou Adventure because that one wasn't open yet. But this year was awesome because there was only one ride closed for the entire 5-day trip, and that was Star Tours. So we weren't able to go on Star Tours, but everything else was open. So we were able to go on Space Mountain and Disneyland Railroad after not being on those rides since May of 2019. So that was awesome. I feel like Space Mountain was lit up a little better. I mean, it was still a dark ride, but the stars seemed to be a little brighter. So that was pretty cool to see. So I went on Tiana's Bayou Adventure for the first time, and that was a fun experience. So the ride, as far as the drops and getting wet, that is all the same as Splash Mountain, but of course the story and the songs are all different. So, and they did change the tone or the vibe of that last lift hill right before the big drop. On Splash Mountain, that lift hill, there was an overall sense of fear, right? I mean, the music and the characters, what was happening, the 2 buzzards that are up there. It was all fear-based going up that lift hill, like, oh no, what's happening? What's coming? We're in trouble here. and then you come down the hill and then it's a celebration. So I thought that was great because you got to have some joy, some fear, and then joy again. But with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, it's just one big celebration. There is no fear at all. It's like Joy from Inside Out was the Imagineer, and she locked Fear in the closet, and then she designed the entire ride. That's what it's like. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not how I would have done it. I would have preferred to have that feeling of fear on that last lift hill. Maybe incorporate Dr. Facilier in there somehow. I think that would have been pretty cool. But I'm not an Imagineer, so I'm sure they talked about that kind of stuff, and then they chose to go the way they did for whatever reason, I don't know. And I only went on the ride once because when I went on it, I got soaked. I was sitting in seat 3, so 3 rows back, and it was on that, the little drop in the inside, the double drop. It's always the double drop, the one that goes woo like that. And when you come down that second drop there, a giant wave just always comes over that side of the boat and just gets you. And it's not a splash, right? It's like somebody's there with one of those 5-gallon buckets that you get at Home Depot, and they filled it with water and they're just waiting for you. And then when you get there, they just pour it on you. That's what it was like. I was prepared though. I took my shoes and socks off and switched into flip-flops for the ride. So my shoes or my feet were fine. But yeah, everything else was just soaking wet, and it takes a couple hours to dry. When you get that wet on rides like that in Grizzly River Run, it makes it kind of a scheduling problem, right? Because we wanted to go on those rides when it was hot, like right before our afternoon break would have been perfect, because then you can go to the hotel and change clothes or whatever. But we didn't really make it a priority, so it never really happened. And the only time we could go on them when we remembered was like 9 at night, 10 at night. And it's like, none of us wanted to go on there and get super soaked. So we only went on Tiana's once, and then we never went on Grizzly River Run. So just the way it worked out. The other awesome thing was that the Haunted Mansion was the original version of the Haunted Mansion. So it's been a long time since I've been on that version. The last time was May of 2019. And then before that, it was probably the early 2000s, because every time my family, we go to Disneyland, it seems like it's already Haunted Mansion Holiday, or it's closed becoming Haunted Mansion Holiday. So it was great to be on the original version of the Haunted Mansion. I know our last trip in August of 2024, we were there, I think like August 17th or something like that, or 19th. And it was already Haunted Mansion Holiday. And so, we're there on our summer vacation. It's 90 degrees outside, and then we go on this attraction, and it's candy canes, Santa Claus, and Christmas music. And it's just, it's really well done. I like it, but I don't like it so much in August. So it was great to experience the original Haunted Mansion on this trip. So the crowd levels for this trip were pretty good. It was a little bit more crowded than our trip in August of 2024, but that other trip, it was inconsistent, right? So each day was a little different than the last. But in this trip in July of 2025, it was very consistent. So all 5 days seemed to be the same crowd level. So, that's great. It's nice to have consistency. The longest line we waited in, longest posted wait time, was 45 minutes for Rise of the Resistance. And we timed it, and it ended up being 31 minutes to the room with Ray and BB-8. So I'm guessing that 45-minute estimate is to the actual ride vehicle. And I consider, once you get to the Ray room, that's kind of the start of the attraction. So that worked well for me. And so what we did was we would walk by Rise of the Resistance. And if the line was at that point or shorter, we would go on it. But if it was further back from that point, we would just skip it and walk on by. The longest wait time we actually waited was 35 minutes for Peter Pan. It said 35 minutes, but it looked like maybe it would be a little shorter, but it wasn't. We timed it, and it was 35 minutes. So that was the longest wait time we waited in. So that's not too bad. So for the bucket list item that I mentioned at the start of this video, it requires a little backstory. So on our last trip to Disneyland, which was August 2024, so it was 5 years that I haven't been to Disneyland. And the one thing I wanted to do the most was just go on Pirates of the Caribbean and just soak in, the sights and the sounds and just enjoy my favorite attraction. And we went on it a ton of times on that trip. And one thing that we all discovered is that people on this ride just talk. And I'm not talking like, oh, look at that. Oh, that pirate's awesome. Or this drop is awesome. Like, ooh, throw me a roll. Any of that stuff is fine because it's talking, you're talking about the experience that you're all having. But the kind of talking that we heard was like just chatting. So it's like, oh, on Tuesday, let's go to lunch. Oh man, that would be great. Let's try the new cafe down by the theater. Oh, I heard they have the best sandwiches. Maybe we should invite Marcia and Toby. Ooh, I don't know. I talked to Marcia and her and Toby are not in a good place right now. It's like that stuff. Like, what are you doing? And we heard that on Pirates and Small World, like every time we were on there. And after that trip, I told my family, it's like, for one time, I would like to just go on Pirates of the Caribbean by myself or have the whole boat just be silent, and they were saying, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. But then on this trip, it did. It happened. So I wasn't on the boat by myself. It was a full boat. We were in rows 3 or 4. And then as soon as we dropped into the water at the start of the ride, it was silent. It was great. Like you could hear the Blue Bayou, the restaurant. You can hear all the bugs in the swamp area, the guy's rocking chair, the pirate that talks, you come seek an adventure. He talks really low, right? So we heard all that. And then after the first drop, you're down in the caves and we heard all the sounds and the voices in the cave. It was great. No one spoke the entire ride. It was awesome. So then I got off that ride and said, well, I can take that off my Disneyland bucket list. And my family was like, yeah, I can't believe that. No one said a word. So that was awesome. So some food items from my trip. I tried the birria toasted cheese sandwich for the first time. And I gotta say, that was probably my favorite thing I've ever had at Disneyland. That thing is good. I love that. And of course, I had to get a churro. I just like the classic churro. I don't go to Disneyland often enough to try these other versions of churros. I just want the classic cinnamon sugar churro. And I really love the Matterhorn macaroon, the coconut macaroon there, and it's the 70th, so they have the sprinkles on it for this celebration. And then of course I love the churro toffee. That's also great. So one of the things I love to do at Disneyland is to take pictures. I love just finding little spots and saying, oh, this will be a really cool picture right here with that in the background. And so I just love doing that. My friend texted me when I was there and said, hey, did you take some cool pictures yet? And it was like day 3. And I was like, oh no, I haven't even taken pictures yet. But my family goes on Guardians of the Galaxy and I don't go on that ride. So then I have time by myself to just walk around DCA and take a bunch of pictures. So I took some pictures during the day, some pictures at night, and then I got some cool pictures at Disneyland too. And then one night I stayed kind of past closing, when it closes at 12 and then you kind of get pushed down into Main Street. I took some pictures on my way out so you get less people. And then what I love to do afterwards when I get home is I find those pictures that I like the best and then I resize them or crop them to match the resolution of my screen on the computer. And then I have them set as the background and they change every 5 minutes or whatever. So then I get to enjoy these pictures all year around or multiple years. So I love doing that. If you're curious about how many steps it takes to walk around Disneyland for 5 days, I do have my step tracker. And on Thursday, I got almost 22,000 steps. Friday was 24,000, Saturday, 26,000, Sunday, 28,000. And then the surprise, Monday was actually the leader, 28,800. So almost 29,000 steps on Monday, which was weird because we left at like 8:30, but we must have just been hustling. It's like last day, you get that last day to do this, last day to do this. You're just running around. So that's about 130,000 steps total for this 5-day trip. So I had super fun time at this trip and I can't wait to visit again. I wish I could go once a month or once a week or once a day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.